on, boy, we can beat these Saturday.
Come on, lads, believe, come on!
Well, I don't know whether I should be smiling or not, but welcome to RedArmy.tv. 3-1 defeat at the hands of Everton. Not good news. Got to talk about that. Got to look ahead to Spurs as well. Joining me in the studio, Terry, by the way. You've appeared many times, but not in the flesh, so welcome.
Thank you very much.
And Yakko Lehtinen.
Yes, correct.
Did I get something right?
Yes.
You're our famous Finnish supporter.
Famous.
Very famous.
No.
You come over, you fly over to the riverside from your home, which is in Finland, and you watch games, and you go to Blackburn when games are cancelled, following the Borough and things like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic to have you with us. We'll talk a bit more about how that love story started with the Borough very shortly, but let's get into Everton. We must. Terry, 3-1 defeat. Not the best of performances. It has me concerned. I don't want to be the sayer of bad news or anything, but it has me concerned. How concerned are you at what happened at Goodison?
Well, I think the real disappointing thing was that we didn't really give it a go. And I think one of the problems is that in every game, we should treat it virtually as a cup game and at least attack the opponents. We hardly had any attacks against Everton. The only one of the few we did, we got the goal. I'm not quite sure.
Fine goal. Absolutely fine goal. Nothing wrong with that.
But over the whole game, I don't think we had a shot on goal. Now that is concerning, you know, because we'll never ever win a game. We may get a nil-each draw, but we'll not score. If we don't score, we'll not win any games. And I think that's what's worrying me.
Yakko, you've been across here, obviously, for a few days. What did you make of the Borough performance at Everton?
I think we were excellent in the beginning. I mean, we kept the ball for the first 20 minutes. Or at least it's
about that.
About that,
yeah.
I don't know.
But the fact that...
But they got the equaliser too soon. That was the...
Do you think if they hadn't scored so soon, that we could have come out more positively, result-wise?
Most probably. I don't know. By being there, it looks that we conceded easily those the two first goals, but having seen them on television, they were not so easily conceded. But
I'd like to know where you stand on what Terry touched on there. The fact we weren't pushing forward, we weren't offensive, we weren't attacking. Are you happy and comfortable with a team that will hold the ball and not attack when opportunities arise?
Yeah, that's one way. I mean, traditionally during Big Jack time, we were called boring Borough, but that was quite effective results-wise.
I must point out here, though Yakko is from Finland, he's been supporting the Borough since the mid-70s. He knows all about Big Jack. He knows all about the likes of John Neals and people like that. So fantastic knowledge of the Borough. Terry, what would you have liked? Hands up. Everton were a fantastic team. They performed phenomenally well. Yeah. They're going to be a strong team.
That's what
this year
mean, that we have to consider that they were really good.
We must consider that. And we were at Goodison Park as well. But Terry, you'd still like us to attack more. Is that the sort of Borough you'd like to see?
Well, if we're going to go into a game expecting to lose, then why not at least have a go? Obviously, Everton are a good team and they will find holes in the Middlesbrough defence, as they did. So why at least not give them a game? It seemed too easy. In the second half, they just totally controlled the game. Middlesbrough never really worried them at any time. And if we're going to capitulate like that, why don't we at least attack them? Okay, we might lose 4 or 5-1, but at least we'll have seen Middlesbrough attacking and get into the game.
Are you touching on the words of Aitor Karanka here when he talks about the game and almost with the words he uses, and maybe it's a translation problem, dismisses the game to a certain extent that, we're really not up to that sort of level, therefore?
I did actually pick up on that, and I was a bit concerned because what it seemed to me he was saying was, we're in a different league So the teams like Everton, the Arsenals, the Man Cities, their teams he's not expecting to win. So let's concentrate on the lower teams. But having said that, we haven't done that well against the lower teams anyway. So I think it would be a false sort of attitude to say, well, let's not worry too much about those games because they're far better than we are. Why don't we give it a go? Why don't we, at least we try to maybe put an extra striker up? I mean, Negredo, he's on his own and he does his best, but you know he needs support, he needs help, and the defence and the midfield are helping so much at the back that we're not pushing forward, and he's basically isolated for long spells of the game. So I'd like to say, I mean, I would love to see Jordan Rhodes put up with him, and I think he would feed off him, but we need to do that.
Yakko, Negredo up front as a lone striker, do you think he's isolated?
Well, a bit. I agree, but generally speaking, I thought that it was very good match compared to the West Bromwich match away. I mean, this was quite entertaining match.
Fantastic.
And I think the difference was just the 2 goals they made quick. Everton scored quickly.
Well, let's get your reaction on the Everton game. We've got some positive, some negative, some using common sense. We'll start there. We'll start with the normal sort of reaction. Chris, Smoggy C. Think Everton have set the bar of what we're up against this season? Peter Swallow, you boys taken pretty emphatic beatings today after a positive start for all. If we were in doubt about how tough it will be, obvious. The Pink Ponce, love the handle. I'd take a top 4 finish now, the league might have to wait until next season. So that's the not so bad. We ran a poll. We asked a question. Stu, our social media guru, posted a question. And it was basically all about whose fault it was for the defeat. So you answered. Over 200 entries on Twitter. Overwhelmingly, Everton were too good. Mm-hmm. That was the reason for the defeat. Yeah. Was it the defence? Was it Idor's tactics? Was it Everton were just too good for us? And that's what came out overwhelmingly. So I might be concerned, and I am concerned. I've got to be honest, and you can flame me and nail me to as many masts as you want, because if we're focusing on taking points off those that we aren't as good as, we didn't against Stoke, who were rock bottom. We didn't against Palace, who had a woeful run coming into the game at the Riverside. So alarm bells are ringing for me. But generally, the fans are not that concerned, it seems, with the results of the poll, Yakko. They seem to be more positive than I am.
Yeah. You're typical Borough.
Thanks. Born, bred, raised, yeah, all that sort of stuff. Typical Borough. Glass is half empty for me. Terry, are you as concerned as I am or not?
I am, and I've supported Middlesbrough since 1960s. 1962 was my first game. And I've been through the 3rd division, and I've been back up to the 1st division, the old 1st division. And I've seen different teams playing in different ways. I think everybody loved the era of the Gianninios and the Ravanellis, because it was exciting football. I know we lost a few games and inevitably we were seesawing up and down, but what a brilliant time it was to be a Borough supporter then. And I'd love to see us playing a little bit more adventurous. Maybe I'm again naive, thinking that we could actually perform at that level, but I'd like to see us giving it a try.
All right, fantastic.
But we were not so successful that time. I mean, we had wonderful players, but we got relegated with Ravanelli and Juninho.
An interesting one, that. Would you rather win a game 1-0 and perform badly, or play not attractive football?
Of course, everybody would dream that we win 6-4 every week.
I think Newcastle tried that. They didn't. Yeah,
but in practice, I think in modern football it can be more successful to at least start. And I think Karanka is still building the team. I mean, we are nearly there what he wants, but not exactly. And I don't see that we are playing that defensively as many people say. I mean, a lot of people are saying that we should have more wingers, for example. But I was really surprised that we went to Everton, and sometimes our both fullbacks were near the Everton penalty area. So do we need wingers because our fullbacks are so high up the field. Is that defensive formation we are playing? But I agree that Negredo was a bit alone.
We'll see how that develops over the course of the next handful of games. We'll come back to the game and reaction from the fans with the tweets that have been piling in this week on RedArmy.tv. But that's after we've taken another trip down memory lane. We've already talked Big Jack on the show today. What about Curtis Fleming? The overlapping fullback. We love Curtis at Hartlepool with Higgy at the moment. Well, he's been making an appearance at the Middlesbrough official supporters club meeting this week, and our men, Mark and Lee, caught up with him.
What happens in Ireland, there was loads of kids and loads of people through the years that I was there from 15, 16, 17 that got moves to English clubs as apprentices. And nearly all of them ended up back home by the time I'd come over to England. So I always thought, you know, if I could get through a year or 2 years, I'll see how it goes. And really it was a dream to succeed and stay at a club like Middlesbrough for so long. I was working in Neon's, the clothes shop in Dublin, yes. We had a couple of shops. I previously worked in the newsagents and a pound shop. So I did a few different jobs up to that and played part-time. So it was a great chance to come over and play professionally.
You made your borough debut versus Ipswich Town on Saturday the 24th of August 1991 as a substitute, is that correct?
Yes, that's right, yes.
We got beat that game, didn't we? 2-1.
2-1, yes.
But unfortunately, positively, we won the promotion to the Premier League in 1991.
We did. I thought every season was going to be like that. It was unbelievable for me to come over and experience that, especially how we got promoted on the last day against Wolves, away from home with a lot of injuries and sending off. Nicky Mona got sent off and that, but we ended up going on to get promoted, and it was a dream first season for me. And the only worry I had was that the following season Brian Robson came and brought Neil Cox for £1 million, and I was thinking it didn't really do me any good. But to be fair, luckily enough, he moved me to left back, and I played there for a few seasons.
Because you obviously had Chris Morris at the time playing
That's right.
Also a Republic of Ireland.
That international. But he was very honest with me, Brian Robson, and he gave me a chance to play there, and he had no doubts I could do the job. Which I think when you have a world-class player telling you that, I think you should have a bit of confidence. So because I think Robbo I loved because he gave me belief. And I knew when I was fit I would play, and I think anybody who has a manager that gives you that belief, especially with a name like Brian Robson has in the word game, he would jump in that. But I thought that Terry Venables technically, as a coach, as an out-and-out coach, was unbelievable.
I thought he made a difference, especially when we were struggling at the time.
Yes, he came in, he organised he really galvanised the squad, and he didn't take any crap, as they say.
You made approximately 266 league appearances within the borough, and you scored 4 goals.
Yeah.
Can you, if I said 13th of April, 1996?
1996, I think that's clear.
That was your first borough goal against Wimbledon.
Wimbledon, was it?
Yes, it was.
Right, God.
And your second goal was Hereford in the League Cup on the 18th.
Yes, that was, John Hendry played the ball to me, I remember that.
And the last minute winner against Blackburn Rovers.
Blackburn was a good one because I wasn't having a great game. And
that was a missed pass by Yannick Moore, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it just came to me. But I always say, because it was a teammate from Ireland, Damien Duff, that was marking me when I cut inside him, and I hit it with a left foot, would you believe?
And the
past the England goalkeeper, so I always throw my hat in that one. I remember that one.
So Curtis, thanks for your time. Mark and Lee catching up with him, and interestingly, Yakko, what was that you just shouted across when we were watching that? I played against Curtis Fleming. What happened?
Yeah. I play old boys football in Finland still regularly. For the past 20 years I've been playing football. I didn't play when I was youngster, so I started when I was 35. We have a special old men's or old boys league, and we have official matches.
And how did you play against the Borough Old Boys?
Well, I got to know during the past few years. I got to know Jim Blatt, and as you know, he's the chairman of the how you call it, Former Players Association or something like that.
That's correct. Yeah.
So once he just said that if you ever come over to England, he will arrange a match against us, for us to play against. So last season we came over for the Brighton match, year ago.
Yeah.
So it was also Brighton, the last match. So we played against them. We lost 12-3, but
Curtis kick you?
at least I scored against Jim Platt. So
Oh, good
that's
man.
my brightest.
But Curtis didn't kick you.
Yeah, but somebody put, from our team, a guy, he was 64 years old, he put a ball between his legs. So that was the other bright thing.
We shouldn't go down. We shouldn't go this deep. It's embarrassing for them. While we're talking old boys, Spike11. The Twitter handle is at Spike Armstrong. It isn't the Spike Armstrong, I hasten to add. No pace up front, no pace out wide, no pace in the middle. Would rather start Fisher over Downing and Traore. Paul Edwards, bring on Clayton. It's like bringing on a plank of wood to a gunfight. Nice. Adam, also Valdez has no presence in the box as a keeper. He never comes out to claim it. I think he's talking about the second Everton goal there. Matthew Nixon, I'm sorry, but we are hopeless. Offer nothing going forward and can't handle quality going forward. So they're the negatives. I want to finish on positives, fellas. It's always nice to finish on a positive because we have been a bit down after the Everton defeat. We are Borough. Only real positive to take from the game was just how good Barragan is. Yeah, can't disagree with that one. DD wasn't a big Downing fan last season, but I think he suits playing in the Premiership. And Fiona K, I love you, Borough. Win, lose or draw, you are my team. And to you, I am faithful. I'll be accused of not being faithful, I'm sure.
And the support was excellent at Everton.
Perfect timing, because I was just going to mention the support, because a couple of tweets have come in from Everton fans.
Yeah.
Amanda Rickson, I thought the Borough fans were great today. Best away fans we've seen for ages, participated in the tribute on 30 Minutes. Hope they stay up. John Derbyshire, Borough fans, class act tonight. Tug Wilson, well done to travelling Borough fans, keeping up the singing. We know they only went to the Cavern in Liverpool, really. The support, Terry, was exceptional, wasn't it? And I know John and the lads at the 12th Man put the reminder out about supporting the young Everton fan who passed away. And the Borough fans not only participated but led that to a certain extent. Magnificent to see.
Absolutely wonderful support. Middlesbrough football fans amongst the best in the country, it's particularly away from home. They go in numbers as well. They often will fulfill all their entitlement and be, more. They are second to none when it comes to giving support. And they don't just give support when they're winning. They obviously they keep the support going right through the game, and that is a testament to how good Middlesbrough supporters are.
Yakko, you found out about Middlesbrough through television, didn't you? That's what linked you with the club back in the 70s?
Yeah.
But you've followed them throughout the decades. And fair to say that when you've gone to games, you've enjoyed the support?
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's better than ever. I mean, I have been to away, not so many away matches in the 80s, but I think this is much more people in away matches and much more noisy. So definitely better than ever, in my opinion. But of course, I missed the Juninho seasons because I had 3 small children that time, so I didn't travel much to here. I saw Juninho only once.
Just once, but
yeah.
Hey, at least you've seen him. Seen the greatest. I know my mum will say Wilf Mannion, but you've seen the greatest player to pull on a Borough tune. Fantastic stuff. I did say at the start we would get into very, very, very short time how you come to support the Borough. Can you enlighten us? I know it's a question you get bored with.
Yeah, I was quite young, but as you might know that in the Scandinavian countries or Nordic countries, English league has always been popular. Norway, Denmark, Sweden and Finland also. And in the 70s we didn't have much sports on TV, especially in the winter time. But we had every Saturday 5 o'clock our time, your 3 o'clock starting time. We always had one match live on TV already in the early 70s. And that's how I just saw a match. The sun was shining above Ayrton Park and I think it was against Arsenal, I'm not sure. And I think we won 3-1 or 3-0. That was the first match. But I think the other reason for supporting the club was the name. It was so unfinished, so difficult. My father never he was never able to pronounce the name Middlesbrough. It's so difficult for a normal Finnish person to pronounce.
Well, congratulations, because you pronounce it perfectly. That br at the end. That's what
and I can.
We don't like borough. We don't like bruff and all this that the Southerners give us.
Yes.
Bruh, well done.
So I think it was partly the name. It was exotic.
Well, it's great to
But
have
I
you.
think it was the match was nice and
the sun was shining.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it doesn't always do at Middlesbrough.
Yeah,
Great,
yeah,
fantastic. We just need to catch up with some news here on RedArmy.tv. Here's Chris Story.
We start Red Army News with the latest on the car parking around the Riverside. As RedArmy.tv revealed last week, around 750 car parking spaces have been made available for the fans attending the Spurs game. Final touches are being made to land by the side of the Navigation pub to provide secured parking for around 170 cars. It's just a 3-minute walk from the Riverside and it's going to cost a £5. On the opposite side of Middlesbrough Dock, Middlesbrough College will have both its Vulcan and South car parks open at a charge. Also, there's been great news on the international scene. It's been widely reported that Big Sam is on the verge of calling up Borough defensive rock Ben Gibson. England have games coming up against Malta and Slovenia. Finally, Borough fans are being asked to pay tribute to fellow supporter Louis Thornton, who died on Merseyside last weekend before the game. The 26-year-old travelled from his Isle of Man home to see the game but fell ill before kick-off. Fans are organising a minute's applause on the 26th minute of the Spurs game. And don't forget, if you have any news at all, you can drop it into us here. The email address is studio@redarmy.tv or via social media at Borough Red Army. Now back to the show and final views on the Everton game. In a moment, your fans rant, but first here's Joe Nicholson's look back at the Everton defeat.
In terms of a result, a 3-1 defeat away at an in-form Everton side doesn't look too bad. However, it was the manner of the loss which will be the biggest concern to Borough fans. After taking the lead on 21 minutes through a controversial own goal from Martin Stecklenburg when the Everton goalkeeper appeared to be fouled by Alvaro Negredo, Everton equalised immediately through a corner when Gareth Barry converted, and from there was only really one side in it as Everton showed more energy and urgency going forward. They earned a 3-1 lead before half-time after goals from Seamus Coleman and Romelu Lukaku, and in the second half, Borough didn't really offer much going forward. Each goal could have been questioned defensively from a Borough point of view, like the goals against Crystal Palace the week before. However, we did see that extra bit of quality from one of the top sides in the division. But Borough didn't really lay a glove on Everton in the second half. They brought on David Nugent and Victor Fisher, but they didn't really offer much going forward as Everton comfortably saw out a 3-1 victory. For Borough, they fell to their first away defeat of the season.
For the first Everton goal was iffy. Thought it was a foul on Fowlers. I still don't know about Lukaku going, if it was offside or onside. But I thought we played well. The fans were amazing again, I must admit.
We started slackening off in the first half. First half of the second half, we were playing reasonably well. We still fought on.
We had one ball in the box and we got a goal from it. Okay, it might have been a foul, but if we would have had two wingers on in the second half, we might have had more balls in the box and got more goals.
The news that Big Sam is having a look at Ben Gibson has come as a surprise to many, possibly going to be playing either against Malta or Slovenia. Terry, is he deserving of an England call?
Well, he's certainly been Mr. Consistency when it comes to playing for Middlesbrough, and he's also played for the England under-21s as well. So he's come through the ranks and he's settled into a really good, decent centre-back. And I think, you know, it's nice now that he's got the opportunity to actually show on a bigger stage. And I'm looking forward to actually watching that game because I think Ben has done well for the club and it deserves his chance.
Mm. Do football fans in the Nordic countries follow England as such, the international side, or is
At
it
least
purely
in my family they do.
They do?
Yeah, because Finland has never qualified for the Euros or World Cup, so we can't support Finland in the major tournaments.
I know Iceland look towards the English national team. Well, they won't anymore, will they? Because they're more successful than England.
And of course, it's natural because at least in the old days, everybody knew the major players from the league matches we were shown live on TV.
So if Ben gets selected and plays for England in one of these up and coming games, what will that do for Middlesbrough in the eyes of football fans who are abroad? Will it help the Middlesbrough name?
Perhaps. But it's totally different nowadays. I mean, a lot of people already know Middlesbrough abroad now because of the Juninho and Robson years and Ravanelli. So we are not Middlesbrough. I used to say we. But Middlesbrough is already much better known than in the 80s. I mean, we were quite unknown that time.
Well, we wish him well. Fingers are crossed, and we'd like to see him pulling an English. It's been a while since
I think he has been
English shirt, isn't it?
Yes,
I think he has been excellent this season.
And I think Ben Gibson, you know, for what he does for Middlesbrough, and my son keeps saying to me, do you know we haven't lost a game since Ben Gibson's been playing. This was last season.
Yeah.
And
not this season.
Not this season, no. But last season he was saying it's every time Ben is off or for whatever reason injury, he said we tend to either lose or draw the game. But with him in the team, we seem to do better. But I don't know whether that was just coincidence.
Well, let's hope that comes back. That little stat, we'd like to see that. While we're talking youngsters, have a look at this. Little Liam Vickers. I'd like to thank Paul Vickers for sending it in. Was the mascot, the Borough mascot at Everton. Had an absolute whale of a time, and he wants to thank everybody. Well, basically, Paul wants to thank everybody at the club and at Everton for basically making a dream come true. That's fantastic. And we also like to say hi to the Hong Kong Supporters Club. Getting rather noisy. It looks rather dark in Hong Kong, but good to have you with us. We've got the Singapore Supporters Club. Now good to have some video from the Hong Kong Supporters Club too. Fellas, we've got to look ahead to the Spurs game. That's what is immediately upon us. No Kane, no Dyer. Yakko, is this our opportunity to put one over on what would be expected to be a big team this year in the Premier League?
Yeah. It's not going to be easy game, but I think we can expect a surprise win. I mean, Aitor's team can, if they play well in defense, then they can win, but it's not easy.
It would never be easy playing Spurs, surely, no matter whether the likes of Kane and Dyer are playing or not.
No, they still have international players in the team, like Rose, and they will play again. They'll come to Middlesbrough and they'll play, I think, quite an attacking game. That's how Spurs teams normally play these days. But I think with the big hitters being out the team, it gives us a slight advantage, and I think this Middlesbrough will take that advantage on Saturday. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to Middlesbrough.
So a couple of big hitters missing, home advantage for the Borough, sting in the tail for 2 successive defeats.
Yes.
Enough there to give us the motivation to go out there and take Spurs apart or not?
I can't see us ever taking Spurs apart.
Oh, come on.
But I could certainly see us winning. And I think this is, if we won't get a better motivation than what we have at the moment. All the things that you just mentioned there, plus the fact that we need to get back into the winning ways. And I could see this one actually going for us.
3 successive defeats are a possibility, though, coming out of that. Yeah, okay. That could be a difficult hurdle to climb, couldn't it?
Yeah. Have we ever lost 2 matches in succession or under Karanka before?
Yes.
I'm not a statter. I would think so.
Yeah, but usually we got a good Karanka gets good reaction from the players after a defeat, but now it's 2 defeats.
So where are you nailing your colours scoreline-wise? What do you think the score's going to be?
1-0.
To Borough, of course.
Yes.
1-0. You said 2-1.
I'm sticking to my 2-1. I think we'll put a lot more pressure on them than we did for Everton. Obviously, it's our home match. Spurs will be up for it. They're still riding quite high in the league, and they'll be wanting to press home that advantage. But I think what we have is a window of opportunity with all those things which seem to be going against Spurs at the moment, and I think we can nick it 2-1.
Well, surprisingly, there have been doom and gloom monster all programme. Listen to this one. Go and put your money on Borough 2, Spurs 0. We've got a point to prove, And I think finally we're going to prove it in the Premier League. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Terry, as always, you help week in, week out. We appreciate all your help. Great to have you on this side of the camera for once. Yakko, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for coming over from Finland.
It's nice to be here.
Just to come on this programme, it's a fantastic trip you've made. No, I'm lying, but fantastic. Good to see you here, and we want to see you here again next time you visit the area.
Okay.
Okay. So, Spurs are upon us. Fingers crossed. I'm going to go and put my money on 2-0 right now. We'll catch you next week. See you.
Come on, boy, we can beat these Saturday. Come on, lads, believe, come on!